Hey, what's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Much appreciated. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And Miami Dolphins, big news today. Jalen Mother Bleepin' Ramsey is back at practice for the Miami Dolphins. Very exciting, as number 5 is going to be in his first regular season practice as he begins his mend back to the team's regular season. Really awesome news as he had the meniscus surgery. They had that come out in training camp. I remember Leroy and I were in Vegas for that. And, this was everybody was jacked up for this signing for the Miami Dolphins, or this trade that the Miami Dolphins made to their secondary. One of the elite cornerbacks in this league, really knows this system, and, certainly would have a big effect on everything that the Miami Dolphins do. So to get him back was absolutely huge, and to get that news was really, really cool. It sounds like the way that Mike McDaniel phrased it today is that it's safe to say that, or it's fair to assume that he'll be back before the bye week, which is really cool. But he would have to be back by November 8th, right? November 6th, bye week. I think November 8th is 21 days from now. And so that would be the Wednesday practice while the Dolphins are in the bye week. If they had a practice, that's when he would have to be activated. So it would basically be, if he were to return before the bye week, that would be, either the Patriots game at home or the Chiefs game. That'd be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome, and it wouldn't be. That's not he would. It would be pretty close to his day anyway. So I don't know if they would make this move to bring him back if he wasn't coming back for the Chiefs game by the latest, right? Because otherwise, there didn't seem to be this need to activate him, and start that climb back for him. So pretty cool. He says they are cautiously optimistic. Now, this is a coaching staff. They are very cautious. Could they just roll it over? They get to that Chiefs game, especially if the Dolphins' record is at a really, really great point. Like, let's say they go out and they win their next 2 games. They're 7-1 at that point going into the Chiefs game. Would they just say, hey, let's punt it until we get to? Everything can change, right? Like, if they go and lose these next 2, or they really feel like they need him, I think there's a lot up in the air as far as that's concerned. But the good news is, he's going to be back by the bye week, right? Like, he's going to be back for that matchup against the Chargers, and you're basically going to have him for the second half of this season. That's the really good news there. So whether he does make this huge comeback and he does make this speedy recovery and he is back for a Patriots game, a Chiefs game, man, that would be awesome. And, this guy is, just ultra competitive. You love everything that he brings to the table from a football standpoint. You love what he brings to a table from a competitive standpoint. This guy has led a Super Bowl defense along with Aaron Donald. He got to the AFC Championship with a defense that was led by him and Calais Campbell, basically, which had a bad collapse, but not because of them against the New England Patriots. That was basically just because Blake Bortles existed. So fired up to have the news about Jalen Ramsey coming back. Mike McDaniel was saying he kept telling me that I was an alien, and I'm starting to believe him because it was pretty crazy. Everybody's been raving about this Aaron Rodgers walking around already and throwing with his Achilles injury, which does seem a little bit crazy that he's been able to make this jump back already. But hey, man, Jalen Ramsey. Everybody's diagnosis of this was as December. December is going to be the time. So for him to up that entire month, and you're basically getting it for half the season instead of quarter of the season, dude, he must have been busting his absolute ass to get themselves in this position to bring himself back and put himself into this secondary, which definitely needs some help. Look, with Eli Apple, you're trying to hold the fort as much as you can. We know Kader Kohu has been in and out, and they've been trying to do what they can from him. They're not really playing Cam Smith at all. So between getting Jalen back, possibly getting Nick Needham back, the Teron Armstead mend, hopefully that's going to go well. And Devon Achane. Like, the Dolphins are in a ideal scenario, which we always have to be cautious with because it is football. And people get busted up all the time and, terrible things happen. You look at this week, Xavier Howard apparently is a little bit banged up. He's not practicing today. Connor Williams still not practicing. So you can never have this pie in the sky that, everything's going to be great. Everybody's going to be back. Everything's going to be to the fullest. You can never quite get yourself that comfortable. That's always a very, very dangerous place to be. But it is still the most hopeful outlook of it is that, man, if they do get all those guys back, and they have done a great job already this season of managing the injuries. It's pretty funny that not having Jalen Ramsey and being 5-1, schedule or no schedule, has been impressive. Because they have had to deal with the big blows of Jalen Phillips basically missing most of the year, Teron Armstead missing most of the year. You lost your lead rusher, you lost your starting center, and they have just kept going forward and dealing with it. And you would think that there would be a time where eventually you'll be at a place, hey, we can't last. We can't keep taking these hits. I honestly thought, I was like, hey, listen, Achane, that's kind of a big loss for them. But no, just like when Jalen Waddle was out, the offense just kept chugging along. And when Jalen Phillips was out, Von Ginkel was awesome. And look, to his credit, with Connor Williams being out and everybody being nervous with Liam Eichenberg, 0 pressures. What did Pro Football Focus put out there? That was only the second time in his career that he's done that in a game that he started, 0 pressures. So they really are humming at a great spot. But that being said, we all know that the defense could use a little bit of improvement, I think it uses juice from a couple of standpoints. Like Christian Wilkins is kind of that emotional leader up front. But in the back, while Javon Holland is a little bit more coy and vicious hitter and cerebral, Jalen Ramsey's been there, done that. There is a little bit something to having the guy that's been there and done that, and has been the guy, and will talk a ton of shit to other teams and bring you that bravado and bring you that confidence and bring you that, just we can do this. A lot like Tyreek. I mean, it's funny the parallels between him and Tyreek because there's been beef between them before, right? But Tyreek coming to the Dolphins last year really brought that, they have the dude out there on offense, and he's bringing the big expectations. He's been on a championship team. Was, I don't want to say a little counted out, but was kind of like just cast aside, like, the Chiefs will be fine without him. And you're just that guy who's going to be out there talking. And Jalen Ramsey kind of the same way. It's like, all right, you were out there. Jalen Ramsey is losing a little bit of a step. Don't tell Jalen Ramsey he's losing a step. And now don't tell Jalen Ramsey he can't come back and do Jalen Ramsey things off this injury, because that would be a absolute colossal mistake. But huge news, back on the practice field, on the mend. Maybe we'll be back before the bye week. It's Goosey's galore, dude. I don't know what to tell you.